Right, so it's about that time again. I know I did a video not too long ago about my current thoughts and opinions on Disney Speedstorm, and at the end of that video I did delete the game. I did overreact a little bit, I think, personally. I've gone back on deleting the game. I've re-downloaded it. I've done a couple Twitch streams, just finishing up the rest of content. I'm not spending money on the game, obviously. I still have to back that decision, and also I just don't have the money to spend on it. I wouldn't spend money on the game, even if I did have the money to spend on it. However, I am back very much talking about it, and I think it's more important to stick with the game and to see if it does improve than to just outright just say, no, I'm not playing this anymore. Because I did have fun with it, and I am still having fun with it, even though the monetization stuff and the greediness is kind of getting at me. And also Multiverses just came out. I probably will do a similar tier list video about that. I will also say that game's monetization and the stuff surrounding that isn't much better than this. But I do think that game overall is more fun and does have better mechanics overall. But I do think these games are these free-to-play games. I think my overall opinion of them is starting to become a bit more they don't feel like games. They feel like jobs. Especially Multiverses. It feels like it does just... If you're playing that free-to-play experience, it's very much like the game is the big CEO and you are the overworked, underpaid guy who's just playing, just clocking in and clocking out. You're not playing the game for fun, you're playing the game to clock in and clock out. And for me, yes, as much as playing these games is kind of, work for me, I want to have fun as well. And, I'm trying my best to make these games work around me and to have fun with them. Multiverse is a lot more easy to have that with, but Disney Speedstorm is definitely still, I think, a fun game, even though my opinions on the core gameplay loop and the core, progression system and everything to do with monetizations and the shop in general, it's been negative from the start, but now I think is at its most negative, and the fun stuff surrounding it and everything that's meant to be drawing you in with the characters and everything. Specifically with last season, I think a lot of the new characters that were brought in last season haven't really excited me in a big way. Only one of them really, and that's what brings us into our character tier list for the month of June 2024. Forgot both the month and the year. But there you go. We'll start off with the useless tier, essentially the D tier, or the D tier, because S, A, B, C, D. Yeah, the D tier, the useless tier. In my opinion, these are the worst characters in the game. These are characters that you should not invest in at all, or only when the game tells you to. And for some reason, with some of these characters, the game has been telling you to invest in them a lot recently, and I hate that. We're first going to talk about... There's a lot of characters to talk about from the last time that I did this, but we're going to talk about, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, the worst character in the game. I would make a completely new tier just for him, if I could. King Candy. King Candy is the worst character in the game. He works basically like Mulan, but worse, and Mulan got buffed this this season as well. She's still not great, but she's good enough to get her out of the useless tier. But yeah, King Candy just doesn't do anything. He doesn't excel in anything. His unique skill, again, is the same as Mulan's. It's a projectile in front of you, projectile behind you if you charge it. Just not good enough for the current meta of the game. His top speed is terrible. His acceleration is also terrible. His stats overall, pretty bad. But yeah, King Candy, worst character in the game. Then move on to Hortensia. Same story, different coat of paint. She's just not good. Her unique skill is, in theory, okay. It gives you either 3 attack shields that will stun, or 3 normal shields that won't stun. But will give you more defense. The thing about that is you don't get a speed boost, and as much as defense is okay in this game, there's still parts of you that are vulnerable. Like, instead of it being a shield that works wherever, it's a shield that works, like, there's one flower that side, there's one flower that side, there's one flower in the front. You get hit square in the back. You know, if they were spinning, that would work, but they're not. So you can still be hit. So the skill out overall just doesn't work as intended. Unfortunately, that's again what that Hortensia players are just yawning. Minnie Mouse, again, she's got a skill that helps people out. She's not good. Donald and Daisy are the same character, so they're both useless tier. Hades is, on paper, Hades is great. On paper, Hades' skills sound insane. The problem with Hades is his stats are atrocious, and the skill, the normal activation is pretty good. Every time you pass someone, you get a speed boost. Great. If you're in first, it's not doing anything. But also his charge skill, like whenever someone passes you, you flame them to stun them. It doesn't stun them for that long, and also if they're using a shield, if they're using a cloak, if they have a unique ability that gives them shield or cloak or gives them invulnerability in some way, then you're not doing anything to them and you've just lost your place. And it doesn't give you a speed boost anyway, so it doesn't do anything. He's a useless character. And yeah, like I said, his stats aren't really good enough to get him into first place anyway, so you're relying on that first skill, and then once you're in first place, you can't really do much. Eve is pretty similar. Once you're in first place, you can't really do anything. You can't really do anything to keep that first place. The range on her regular activation is not great. Her second activation doesn't really home in on anyone, so it's not as useful as someone like a Stitch, where you're just like lasers everywhere, or like a Jumbo where it is homing. So yeah, Eve just doesn't really do anything that well, and her stats aren't great either, so she's just, bottom of the barrel. Only slightly getting out of there, we're going to go into the alright tier. I'll start off by talking about Calhoun. I know there's other characters in here to talk about, and there's characters behind her to talk about. I only have experience racing against Calhoun. I haven't raced as Calhoun, because I didn't buy the premium pass, which is ridiculous. but this isn't the video to talk about that. But from what I have seen, she seems alright, but from what other players have been talking about how her skills actually work, way too confusing, way too complicated, and she just doesn't seem as good as the game would make you to believe, or would make you believe, because she just seems too complicated. This might change once I get hands-on, or hands-on experience with the character, but as of right now, nah, she ain't it. I don't think. Oswald is just weird. He's just, like, really funky to use. His stats aren't great. His special doesn't really do anything. It's a speed boost, but it's not that much of a speed boost. Like, helicopters you into the air, which doesn't really do anything. It doesn't stun anyone. Yeah, it's just a weird kit. And for a character that was so hyped up, I'm a little bit disappointed, or I'm very disappointed with how he ended up, because it just ain't good. It ain't good. And have Elsa. Elsa is fine. As far as defenders go, there are a lot better picks. There are so many better defenders than Elsa. And I think just the problem with her is what class she's in, and all of the other Frozen characters being better than her. How difficult it is to get her shards, and how much you're just going to want to level up every other Frozen character before her. We then need to talk about Woody. Woody also is in the most stacked placement he could possibly be. Woody is a Toy Story character. He's in the best collection in the game. In my opinion, still the best collection in the game. He's also a speedster. A lot of really good speedsters in the game. So yeah, he's just really, really against some tough competition. He also just doesn't work most of the time. Just not good enough to keep up. Mulan did get a buff, but I don't think it's enough to save her from just being alright. Mowgli also got a buff. He's not the worst character in the game anymore. And there's quite a few characters behind him that are worse than him. But he's just not great. I would invest in Baloo 100% of the time more than him. Mickey Mouse is slowly sliding down the tier list, and a lot of people would have him in useless. I don't think he's that bad. I think he can be very, very fast. And also my Mickey is completely maxed out, level 50, the works, and I'm not feeling that much excitement when I play him. And that's unfortunate, because it is Mickey Mouse. He should be the best character in your Disney game. Meg, I've put in the alright tier. She's just okay. She's just not... She doesn't do as much as Hercules does, and she doesn't really feel good anymore. Lilo as well. I mean, playing as Lilo, she's felt better than I thought she was initially, and she's getting better, I think, but she's still not good, and I don't think her regular skill does anything, and her other activation actually slows her down. It's meant to be a speed boost, it slows her down. Yeah, I don't like how Lilo works, and I don't like anything about the character. I'm sorry, Lilo fans. Jack Sparrow's milquetoast. He needs a buff immediately. He needs a complete rework to his skill as well. It's just boring at the moment. Oh, some flying blades fly around me. Well, fuck off. But yeah, he's just a bit of a milquetoast character. Figment has gotten better. He's no longer the worst character in the game, again, but he's just not great. Fix-It Felix is a character that gives other people shields, and he excels at making other people better, and that is useless for a racing game. The only thing that keeps him out of the useless tier is his skills are good. His stats are good. I've also put Angel in the alright tier. This might be blasphemous for some people. I just don't get it. I don't get what's good about the character. I can't make her work. So what is it that makes Angel so good? The useful tier, I've put Olaf as my first character in the useful tier. I think he's okay. I think there's nothing special with Olaf. He's just okay. Ursula as well. The more I'm playing as, the more I'm realising this character isn't doing much for me personally. You have to be in the right position, the right situation for Ursula to work, and her regular unique skill is fine. I think that's good. It's good, especially when you're in second place and you want to slow down the person in first and get a quick cheeky overtake. But I think everything outside of that, just so you have to be in exactly the right situation for Ursula to work. I then have Gaston a whole lot better than Hades, but again, he's so mechanics based and he's so fiddly that he's just, there's too much to his kit for you to actually properly utilize in a 2-minute long race. He's just too, I think he's a bit too complicated for the game that he's in. Kermit, only just come out, is probably the character that brought me back to the game. He's alright. He's only okay. I think we're going to see more people coming out of the woodwork and getting Kermit. And the good thing about Kermit is he's a mid-season character that won't take forever to level up, because you're going to be getting... Because it's not going to be a drought of resources to level him up. Might be a drought of shards to level him up, but hopefully they add in a new mid-season character pack or a campaign or a mode to get shards for mid-season characters for the players that missed them, because that really should happen. Because there's a thing for the seasonal characters that people may have missed, but there's not a thing for the mid-season characters that people may have missed yet. Only the Star Chasers, but they're very minimal. King Triton is the same as Gaston. He's a little bit too complicated for the game that he's actually in. Mike Wazowski is a character that was the best character in the game, but now his stats are so lacking compared to everyone else. There's so many characters that can destroy his doors, so that he can't make use of them. He's still useful, because if you can make use of, that old Mike Wazowski strat, he's still good. I think maxed out he's great, but he's just not... He's not doing what he used to do, and that's unfortunate. Jafar, again, I used to have Jafar in S tier. I think I way overhyped him. He's not nearly as good as I thought he was before. He's doing okay, and he can get a lot of stuns. He's probably the most stun-heavy character in the game, but for me personally, I don't think he's as good as I probably hyped him up to be in the last tier list that I did. Randall is just fine. I think he will continue to be just fine. again, the more the game has been forcing me to play as Randall, the more I'm getting out of him. But am I getting more out of him than I am other characters? No, I'm just finding that he gets the job done, but he doesn't do it with any like flair or pizzazz. He just kind of is there. He's just kind of, yeah, he's a character. He's a character that you're probably going to forget is in the game. Gantu, much the same. He used to be in the rung of useless characters. He used to be in D tier. Now he's okay. He's living. He's there. He exists in the game, and you know what? I love that for him. He exists in the game, and no one's taking him out of the game. I think Elizabeth Swan, what they did to her, the nerf that they did to her her bridge ability, just it's made the character it's kind of broken what the character was used for and what the character was good for, which was just blocking off the strategy for anyone else and blocking off pathways and shortcuts and stuff. And taking that away from the character, yeah, cloak is fine, but what does it matter if people can't see you? What does it matter if people can't see you and you can't get hit if you're not that fast, to be honest? And yeah, Elizabeth Swan's just okay. She's only okay, and she's been made significantly worse from her nerf. Belle is a character that has not changed. She hasn't been buffed or nerfed. I think that's why she's so middle of the road. The same with Baloo. He hasn't been buffed, he hasn't been nerfed, and he hasn't really changed since the start of the game. And yeah, that's probably why he's just in the middle of the road. He hasn't really been tuned up to match the best characters in the game. He hasn't been tuned down because he's necessarily better than anyone else. He's just there. Jumba can be really, really good, but it's so situationally useful that just play as any other characters. Just play as Stitch in that scenario. Just play as Stitch, or just play as a different defender that is better. Vanellope is fine, but for a character that was so hyped, for a character that this is the game that they belong in, disappointing. For me personally, just disappointing. And I feel like she could move up, she could move down. Her skill makes players ill and nauseous, so I think that's a point against. But I've got a lot of wins with her, so that's a 0.4. But yeah, I don't want to say for people to play a character that's going to make them feel sick. But there you go. Wally is just kind of like your milquetoast bread and butter. He's there, he exists. I think he could very much go into the higher tiers if his shards were easier to get and it's easier to level him up. Because at the moment, he's very good and he has very good potential, but you're kind of stuck with him at like a level 30 or level 32. Then we're moving into the meta tier. Every character from now on is one that I would suggest investing in, and I would say, yeah, those are characters that you should definitely be putting your time and effort into. First off, Eric. Eric is great. Eric, as a blanket statement, he's not a speedster. The game says he's a speedster. He's not a speedster. He's a defender. He works like every other defender in the game. Just put him in with the defenders. Ralph is probably good enough to put him beyond meta. I'm going to be honest. but he's still very new to the game. I think by the time we do the next tier list, or the next one of these, he could very much work his way up. But at the moment, I think his skills are very, very good, and he's so similar to Ariel in the way that his skills work. Just it's instant instead of having to collect stuff. But he's so good right now. I just didn't want to put him in S tier because I didn't want to overhype him just in case I'm getting it wrong. Anna's just great. Steamboat Mickey. The only thing keeping Steamboat Mickey and Steamboat Pete as well out of S tier or out of Beyond Meta is that their shards are just difficult to get, and it's difficult to upgrade them, especially at this point. If there was a Star Chaser for them, or if there was a event for them that was, just get them to 5-star now, then yeah, I would say that they're top billing. They're so good. Both of them are incredible characters. I'm going to group them in together and just say they're both probably S tier, but they're so difficult to get shards for that I can't in good conscience, in good faith, put them at the top. Pete though is an absolute monster. Shang I've put in meta as a bit of a joke, but also he does some really good things for a defender. He's a defender with cloak, which is a nasty combination, and also he's a simple character that doesn't really do anything too flashy or exciting, but he gets the job done, and he's friggin' fast, and that's all you really can ask for. The same with Goofy. He's a character that's not really that flashy, that doesn't really show off that he's really good, but he is really good. The only thing keeping him out of S tier, I think, is Buzz existing. Buzz just being a character. Hercules is really great, especially after his buff. He's so good. Genie, also very good. One of the most fun characters to play. One of my favourite characters in the game. Celia is just the ability to siphon boost off of other people is something that will never not be useful. And the fact that her stats are great before that anyway. It's just such a good character. Bo Peep, surprisingly, has become very, very good. Her stats have just been bumped through the roof. Her skills aren't great, I'll give her that, but her stats are just so busted that she's gonna be at the finish line before most of the other races have even spawned in. Stitch, again, even with the nerf, just not enough. The nerf is just not enough to keep this character from being an absolute monster. Just stuns every second, lasers everywhere, and he's very fast as well. Just Stitch is an absolute machine. Then we have Kristoff. Kristoff also very much a machine. The ultimate version of the Mowgli Jasmine skill, where there's an animal or 3 animals or something that charges forward, and here's one homes, and that's great. And then the charge skill is going backwards, so he actually has something that can deal with stuff behind him and that can keep him in first. He's just such a great character. He's quick as well. He's a defender with cloak. Such a good character. Just everything that you can. Defenders have quickly become the best class in the game. With characters like Kristoff, characters like Buzz, characters like Ariel coming in. Such a good. Even Genie, just such a good character, and just really well made, well balanced. Doesn't really need anything from his kit or anything tweaked in his kit. Then we go into the Beyond meta. These are the best characters in the game. We're just going to start off with Hans. Hans is so good. He's got the biggest ranged projectile in the game. He's got the biggest dick in the game. He can go invisible. He's just great. He'll slap you. Hans is just a good character. Hans is just a good character, man. We then have Ariel. Ariel is fantastic. She's got a mechanic that actually works and doesn't overcomplicate the race. And, she's a good character. What more could I say? Her top speed is okay at first and then gets through the roof. And she can get, 5 rush abilities in a row. It's fantastic. Sully will always be an S tier. Just the ability to stun 7 characters in a row at the start of a race, while also building up your boost meter exponentially, so you always have boost. Just the best character. I think Jessie will probably always be S tier as well. Jasmine always will be S tier. Just the ability to always have boost is great. Buzz has the best acceleration potential in the game. He's also got a really good charge skill. Just a really good charge skill. And then, surprisingly, Beast. Beast has some of the highest top speed in the game. He's also got that Beast mode that he goes into, which is insane. It's just insane. I'm just going to say it. You get into Beast mode, you win the game. You just win the game. And my Beast is maxed out at the moment, so he's also incredibly insane. I'm sorry about that. That's my timer. We've only got one character left, so we're going to talk about that. Aladdin's fantastic. Aladdin is the best character in the game. What more do I have to say? He's so fast. He gets to the end of the thing fucking quicker than Usain Bolt. He's so good. He's so friggin' good, man. I apologise that I can't go deeper into these characters and what they're talking about and what they've got and their kits and stuff. But yeah, this video is already 30 minutes long, and I've got to get some potatoes out the oven. So what more have I got to say? Yeah, Aladdin's greatest character in the game. I'm excited to see how the tier list shifts out later, or shifts up in the next season. I think we've got Miss Piggy coming as a mid-season character. I mean, that would make sense because we've got Kermit this season. The introduction of Kermit is very exciting because it kind of opens up more areas of the game. But yeah, Inside Out, I don't know if I'm excited about Inside Out as like a property coming to the game because I haven't seen the movie. I don't know much about what to expect for what's gonna come into the game. But also, more characters is more characters, and hopefully it's not a case of the best ones are being hidden behind a paywall. And luckily this season it wasn't that, because Ralph is the best character and he's not been hidden behind a paywall. And Calhoun's been pretty disappointing to the people that have played her. She doesn't have voice acting either, which is a bit of a middle finger to the players, if I'm being honest. And Vanellope is just disappointing all around. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about the current the current tier list in Disney Speedstorm. do not invest in King Candy at all. Do not put anything into King Candy. He's terrible. He's the worst character in the game. Don't do it. Looking at you. Friggin' Jeff. Looking at you. Don't come out into Summer Games Fest tomorrow and say, welcome to Summer Games Fest. I put all of my upgrade coins into King Candy. No. Don't do it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Peace.